Good evening and welcome to Tier 1 in SLR. We are here for round 3, I believe, for the Miami Grand Prix. It is Kebab on the mic with the mystery guest who happens to be Ocean Chief.
Hello guys, welcome to the stream, yeah? Miami, let's go.
And it certainly looks a bit cloudy but dry for the race so far. But yeah, we're in for an interesting one. This championship so far has been unbelievable. I don't know if you caught any of it there, Chief, in the background and things, but some absolute terrific racing in the first two races. A very, very tight grid. And yeah, looks like our voice levels and everything else is nice and crisp, so we're looking good on the stream front. So let's crack on. But yeah, we've got McKenda currently leading the championship with 35 points. Danny Cole right behind him with 21, and Justin, the winner of the 2S race this week in Miami, on 18. Daisy on 18, Icewin on 18. Any of these guys could win this championship as it stands at the moment. They just need to string a couple of wins together. McKenda at the moment, though, in a very strong position, and Ferrari in an even stronger position. With some very good points under their belt at the moment for the constructors. Williams hot on their heels though. Danny needs to get a decent teammate in one, but we've got a couple of guys, some new guys this week, trying out no assists to make up the numbers, and be interested to see how they do as well. I've got AR Gamer, Samim making up some numbers here, and a couple of guys that I've never seen before, but I believe are old hands at this racing game in Luca and Jenab as well.
Yeah, and I think that these guys are dark horses. Janab has raced in SLR before under a different name, I believe, but I believe he's one of some idiot's friends, so it's going to be pretty rapid. Some idiot, of course, is Kay Lawrence. And also, Luca, as you already mentioned, he's a very, very fast guy. He is saying he's a wee bit rusty, so maybe take him a while to get up to speed, but yeah, very much looking forward to this. There's a number of drivers, as you said, can win this race, so that means for us it's going to be an awesome race, hopefully, and hopefully it's a dry one as well. We had a few drops of rain in both Tier 2 and Tier 3, and as you can see, it looks pretty cloudy out there today, but at the minute very dry, as Janab is just starting his hot lap there. I think he's the first one out on track to do so.
Janab, so that's who we need to be following on board with. Nice stuff. So, if I can ever find him in the list, there he is, right at the top. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Samim and AR Gamer do. These guys are relatively new to SLR, but they've come on leaps and bounds since they came in here. AR Gamer doing well in Tier 2. Samim looking very good in Tier 3. Both looking to get some practice with no assists. They may struggle against these guys because these guys, a lot of these guys are absolutely rapid, but they don't need to worry about the result here today, just about getting some laps under their belt, some good practice with no assists. It's very difficult to turn that final couple off that you rely on so heavily, but they hide mistakes, and it makes you a better racing driver if you do remove them. So we were just speaking about this before the race, weren't we? Kind of about whether or not people should be doing without assists and things like that kind of thing. And I've always been of the like, I think you agree with me on this. Like, you use the assists to get yourself to a certain point, and then once you've got to that point, you start removing assists, and then try and remain at the level that you want to remain at. These guys.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. I was just going to say as well, I'm on board with Janab, and it looks like from his POV, like it could rain, and I see some sun trying to, when he hits a wall on the exit from the final corner. That might cost him a little bit here on the run down to the start finisher. Yeah, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some raindrops out there. It looks like the track might be cold as well, as these times are not as fast as I'd expect in Tier 1, although 27.6 isn't anything to be scoffed at. And just that racer as well, he is a real dark horse for the win today. He won in 2S Tier 1, so I'll be keeping an eye on him for sure.
27.6 from the man in question there as well. So yeah, the times are pretty fast already. 28, 29 seem to be the simple banker lap kind of thing. Most people are getting within the 28s though. Everybody so far. And AR Gamer with it at 28.7. That's proven fairly rapid from that man, with no assists as well. So it could be that we've got a new Tier 1 contender on our hands if he's getting times like that in the bank already. Put him with a 139.6, I guess that's an abandoned lap. Jenna with a 28 flat, 27.2 comes from RK Lawrence. This guy generally at that end of the leaderboard most cases, but struggled in Imola a little bit, did RK Lawrence, but got a good finish in the end, P2 in the end, but didn't have it all his own way. It seems like this game like suits Suits him still because he's just a great racer, but it suits other people very well as well, as Danny Cole puts it in P2 with a 27.288. A Daisy with a P3 with a 27.4 as well. So some quick times coming in, and I'm wondering if that rain is going to turn up, like how much of a spanner that's going to put in the works for a lot of these people who aren't putting laps in yet.
Yeah, it could be huge. If you don't get a lap in early and the rain comes on, it's game over. You're going to be at the back of the grid. As Copy currently on a lap here. Looking pretty feisty at the minute. I'm just keeping an eye on his sector times as he's heading down the bendy straight with the DRS open. And into this sector here, which is notorious. I mean, you can gain a lot of time here in this slow section. You're trying to get as much throttle power as possible, but you have to be very careful with your lines. And yeah, it's really crucial to jump both those apexes, it seems. That's the esports line. It doesn't settle the car though, and then it's a big long run down onto the back finish straight here. DRS open, ERS obviously blasting away here as he heads down to the final corner. And it's a wee bit hard to gauge the braking point for the final corner when you do have ERS and DRS engaged. As you can see, Copy does miss his apex a little bit there. Maybe caught off guard by the ERS and DRS overspeed. But let's see what he does as he crosses the line. It's P5, 27.8. Good lap from him.
Yeah, solid. A nice banker, but you get the feeling these guys want to go quicker than this. I was expecting to see 26s, and judging from the top guys, 27.2s is a banker kind of thing. You probably would expect them to gain another couple of 3 or 4 tenths at least, and get into those 26s, but depends on how the track ramps up. We haven't got any crew chiefs in chat at the moment, so if we have got any crew chiefs out there, please let us know what's going on with the weather if you can, if we're going to have a dry race, because it looks fairly miserable day in Miami today. Very overcast, but that could be all it is, just overcast, which lowers the temperatures on the track, which should, in theory, we all know what Cold Mass is going to be like, should in theory extend the life of the tyres, but make them a little bit slower.
Yeah, I might be able to actually get a wee bit of intel, so I might just pop out here to get some race weather information, so bear with me.
No worries. Got some information for Chief when he gets back in terms of what Damien just said. But yeah, welcome once again, Damien. I hope you're enjoying your move over to France, and hopefully you'll get your house sorted soon rather than later. And any ideas on when you're going to ship your wheel over to France so that we can have you in these races? That would be interesting for sure. And would you race under the Irish or the French flag now? Yeah, let's see if we can find somebody on a lap. Apologies for that. We've got Isaiah going very slow out the final corner. He might be looking to start a lap. He's on 100% ERS, and away he goes. And yeah, down this final pit straight, we go into turn 1. So turn 1, you want to be braking just at that black board on the left-hand side, trail braking, and getting a nice early apex so you can carry the speed and out here. Cutting a lot of curbs here in this first sector. That's not the way I did, but I think esports guys are faster. Isaiah might be faster. And flat on the throttle down now into this fast sector. You just lift a little bit. Not much braking for that one there. And a wide entry here. He's taking a shorter entry there. Very odd line there through that turn 6, I would say myself. I was expecting a wider one to be better. Get more purchase on the exit. McKenna gets to a 27.1. Takes pole. But we'll follow on board now. Still with the Zygon. He comes down into the hardest braking zone of the track so far. Just under this red bridge. Brakes fully, takes a nice wide line, keeping it far on the right for this one here, keeping it tight to the inside. Oh, he gets very out of shape there, almost into the wall. This sector, so tricky, you want to float the car through, just try and be very gentle with all the inputs, and then this final left-hander here is very important that you get a good exit out of that one, and onto the throttle early as he does there. Short shifting through the gears, down out into the final corner, which as Chief says, very difficult to get a braking point for this one. If you've got overspeed from ERS and DRS, you're going to be braking just after this Aramco board, just before the 100-metre board. And a big lock up there, but he gets the apex still. It's still going to cost him a lot of time. And then get the car straight as quick as he can to get flat on the throttle once more. But doesn't look that tidy a lap at 129.6. Disappointing for Isaiah, I think, but that's the way his season's gone so far. As he's turned off all assists, he's struggling a little bit without that line, I think.
Yeah, and just an update on the weather then. We've got a guy in chat as well confirming, but it looks like rain late in this session is a possibility, but the race itself will be dry.
So So dry race makes for some interesting racing because as much as people do not like this track, I mean I'm personally one in that camp as well. I do not like the traction on this track at all, and I think that last sector just needs ripped out and changed. That's that twisty sector where the very slow sections are. It's just horrible. It's all on camber, off camber, uphill, downhill, left and then a right, and it's just a recipe to unsettle the car, which I think spoils the whole flow of the track. If that was changed, I think I would be a lot happier with this track, but as it stands, it's not. And Daisy, though, with the 26.8, the first man to get into the 26s. As yeah, I was going to say as well, that's our weather, but some information from you that you may have missed in the chat there is that Tipsy Bob moved 2,000 miles just to get away from your voice.
And yet here he is. He just can't get enough of it seems, because he's tuning in to SLR, and here I am again yet to haunt Tipsy Bob. But yeah, it's good to see him in chat there. He's obviously a dedicated fan of the channel, and Desi with a P1. I mean, all week people have been saying he's the quality merchant, he's the guy that's going to get pole, and it looks like that may be the case today, unless one of these other guys can contest for that. Look at Luca as well in P17, 4 laps on the sauce. So I believe what he's doing is he's just using the qualifying session as a practice run for the race, just to get up to speed.
Yeah, that would be the way, like most likely, especially for somebody who hasn't raced in a while, has a bit of rust to shake off. It certainly makes sense. Jenab in P9 isn't doing too badly at the moment, with if he's rusty as well. But some McKenda gets himself into P2. We've got Justin That Racer, Lawrence, Danny Cole. These guys at the top 5, these guys seem to be the guys who are going to be consistently fighting for this championship. But Loff and Crystal's copy, Icewind, Fox, all these guys are capable of challenging for the rest of the top 5 positions to round up the top 10. There's going to be a lot of racing to be had here. Speedy is also very rapid here. Maybe invalidated his first lap. Pretorius as well. Had his first outing in Tier 2 yesterday and had some good racing there with AR Gamer. So I think we're going to have battles up and down the grid regardless of the times here. Danny Cole with a 26.8.5. Oh, that is rapid. So yeah, putting the sword to a Daisy's crown of Mr. Saturday, I think.
Yeah, it's all going to go down to the wire, I think, as Pretorius puts it in P12 with a pretty solid lap there, but outside the top 10. Luca is out of the session, so is he retired in the pits, I wonder? That's strange.
Looks like he has, yeah. There's an Aston Martin in the pits, there's one on the track, but yeah, it looks like he's just given up and decided that he wants to start from the back, I guess. Not the worst idea in the world, an early safety car. And the right strategy calls, and he could gain big from that. I mean, turn 1 here, lap 1, has been a nightmare for both Tier 3 and Tier 2. This is the first time we've raced here in Miami, being a new track. And there was lockups galore and sends and contact everywhere in turn 1, and it caused mayhem for a lot of people, myself included. Lost me 4 or 5 positions at the start in Tier 3, so I imagine I'm probably going to have some of that here today as well.
Yeah.
As people, starting on the hard tyres is the general strategy here as well, and I think that catches a lot of people out as well. I don't know what it was like for you starting on the hard tyres in Tier 3, but for me, there was a nightmare. Those first half a lap on those hard tyres, even the formation lap, it was impossible to get them warmed up.
Yeah, it was very tricky. I think I had 72 on my tires, so they were very cool. Oh, Hoodham spinning the car in the slow chicane there. Yeah, Hoodham actually got himself, I believe he's in an in lap anyway, but he put himself in P8 there with a 27.6. Someone else jumped in there. I think it was Janab actually to set a P8 time, 27.5. So times are coming in thick and fast. 4 minutes left in the session.
Picking up where he left off, I think. He's just straight in there into the middle of the battle. But following on board with just that race at the moment, who's looking to set a fast lap. As I say, a potential dark horse as he comes into this tight, twisty sector that everybody hates. Let's see how he manages to navigate this one at the moment. So he's looking nice and smooth thus far. And this is the way you do it, really. You cut all of the curbs. Nicely done there. And this last corner, very important to get a good exit. Maybe could have had the car straighter earlier there, but it wasn't too bad in the end anyway. Let's see what kind of time we're looking at here as he comes down now into the final corner. It doesn't cross any timing boards, so we'll have to wait until he crosses the line. And it's a decent apex in the final corner, and it's very early on the throttle as well, so Looks decent, looks decent. Let's see what he can do as he crosses the line. So 127.1 improves by 600ths, but not enough really to challenge the guys at the top. He picks up P4 from McKenda, but I get the feeling McKenda is going to reply very soon when he starts his lap. Anybody else on a lap at the moment? Let's see if
we've got Speedy's about to complete a lap here. I believe it's going to be pretty fast there. He set a very fast sector 2 time, and he goes across the line P10, 27.6, so maybe lost a bit of time in that last sector, but not a bad time from him either. I think he's another guy who's just like kind of shaking off the cobwebs a little bit. He is a tier 1 champion of old, and we haven't quite seen him get up to speed just yet.
Samim is retired on track as well, and he's done that into the entrance to the final corner, which is an unusual place to crash, you have to say. A very unusual place to crash. Let's see then. So McKenda is going to be crossing the line soon. He's looking low on ERS. Maybe this is his fast lap, his final lap. See what he can do when he crosses across the line. Don't get to see how Samim crashed. I'm guessing maybe he was just trying to warm his tyres up, lost the traction a bit. Maybe. McKenna comes into the pit, so that must have been his fast lap that he's just done. Icewind maybe coming around the final corner on a lap now, as he's very low on fuel. Is he coming into the pits? I think he may well be.
He's up in his time actually. He's 4/10 up, so he may jump a few positions here. Let's see as he crosses the line. Looks like a 27 at least, 27.8 P12.
Yeah, there's a big gulf there between the top runners who are all in the 27s, and anybody who can't get into the 27 is going to be left behind. I think we're going to have maybe a tale of two races here. Some of these guys have just kind of not put in their best lap. Pemi at the moment looks like he's on a screamer. He's got a purple sector 2 as he comes out of that twisty sector. Didn't look like the best exit that he got there, but we'll see as he comes down into the final corner what kind of time he can do. We've got a lot of guys here starting a lap by the looks of things. I'll rely on you to keep an eye on the top guys and see who's going to go for pole while I follow on board.
Yeah, just looking at Desi, slightly up in his time, but he only needs a slight improvement to get that pole. And if he's able to carry this delta across the line, he will get pole. But let's see as he goes through sector 2 here. Looks pretty tidy. Oh, lovely exit onto the final straight. And yes. Oh, actually, he's down a little bit on this time, so he needs to make it up in this final sector.
I mean, could be making all of that time back up on this straight. If you get a good exit out of that sector, we've got a retirement. It's a couple of retirements there. I think that's people retiring in the pits. We don't have any cars stopped on track at the moment. The yellow flag for Icewind coming around. But a Daisy through the final corner now. Let's see what kind of time he can put in there to try and challenge the guys at the top. Has he done well? He's a 27 flat. He's missed out on that one, I'm afraid. Not gone well for him, and McKenna and Justin have both retired as well. Don't fancy it. Have we got any rain here in the late session? Is this why people aren't beating their times? But Danny Coe and Lawrence out there at the moment. Danny Coe is going to be the first one to cross the line. Don't think anybody else can really challenge these guys for the pole time, but you never know. We've got Crystals out there on a lap as well, but Danny Coe is ahead. So we'll follow on board with him, who's invalidated. Danny Coe's invalidated. I don't know where he's done that, but that might be the end of his qualifying as well. Crystals then, down the final sector. We have got checkered flags for some people, so this is pretty much time over.
Yeah, I think Kay Lawrence was up in his time there, but he crosses, it was a slow chicane, he got his line all wrong, had to do a bit of corrective driving on the steering wheel, and that's cost him a lot of time into sector 2, so I don't think he's going to beat his pole time right now, but I don't think he needs to. I think that's secure at the minute.
Loff and Crystals both coming at the pit, abandoning in their lap. The last guy on track at the moment looks like it's Hoodham. But a Daisy is on 2 lap old hards, maybe. Ooh, Hoodham nearly went into the wall there. You have to say he dodged that one. Very talented drive there from that guy to be able to dodge that wall. Lawrence retires from the session. Hoodham doesn't improve either, stays in P9. Yeah. So Daisy's the only guy.
As well.
Yeah, it's raining, so it looks like nobody's going to be able to improve it. Daisy has invalidated his lap. So that's probably our qualifying, to be fair. That is the way it's going to be. Lawrence takes pole by half a tenth over Danny, but I get the feeling that these guys are still going to be able to race each other. Daisy, Justin, McKenda as well are all close enough, I think, to be in with a shout of making this a very interesting race between those top 5 guys. Any one of those could win it if they get the strategy right. The strategy here is going to be a hard medium, most likely, but some people may opt for the medium hard. If they get an early safety car, that could be the better strategy, because they get to pit under the safety car, and the hard guys may have to stay out. But couple of interesting stories to be had here. P6 for Loff, I think that's his best qualifying of the season so far. P7 for Crystals. He's got a fight on his hands to maybe keep up with those top alien guys, but I'm sure he's got it in him. But Icewind down quite low in the pecking order there. Didn't get a lap together, but he was absolutely rapid last time out in Imola. So his race pace may be good, and maybe see him making some moves. He was very aggressive, and it could be that now that he's starting P13, he might throw caution to the wind like he did last week. But AR Gamer at 28.4. So this is where we're seeing the gap between the guys who have done a fair bit of no assist running and the guys who are maybe struggling to get back into it. Fox with a 28.5. He would be very disappointed with that one. And 28.8 for Meepo as well. Another disappointing time. But Samim starting at the back with a 31.7. It's not a bad time considering the times I was seeing him do before the session. And he crashed out and didn't get a final lap in. Luca with a 30.5 was an early retirement as well. So those guys may be looking to get some moves done. Samim, though, I think is just here for the experience rather than anything. But it does look fairly cloudy, but dry. That's the most important thing, is it looks like it's going to be dry. Because we have had some major...
I have to agree with it. Sorry, Kebab, I have to agree with you about Loft. That is a standout performance. Look at the driver he's beaten, and this is his first season in Tier 1. He obviously was very fast in Tier 2, but he was using assists, so to see him make that jump up and to be immediately competitive, that is something to behold, so props to him.
Certainly is, yeah.
I usually crew chief him, and I think his lost weakness is strategies, trying to devise his own strategy during a race, so he really benefits from having a crew chief just kind of settling him down and just telling him it's going to be okay, and just reassuring him. So Futuristic's in there with those guys. He's in there with Crystal and Loft, so hopefully he can keep those guys focused for the race. There is 29 laps, including the formation lap.
Interesting to see where Copy's ended up in the end as well. I think that guy's got more pace under his belt as well. Fox is almost certainly going to make some moves at the start, and he can be an aggressive driver. I've raced with him track wheel to wheel at times, and he's not shy of giving it the old lick the stamp and send it if he thinks there's a gap there. But Luca is going to be the one to keep an eye on. But as we've said at the beginning there, like it's turn 1, lap 1. Looks like everybody. Let's have a look at the tyres actually and see what's got. But everybody across the entire grid has gone for the hard tyres. So that is an interesting strategy call there. Nobody thought the mediums might work, or maybe there might be an early safety car that they could take advantage of the softs on. Softs, honestly, here are a rubbish race tyre. They last about 4 laps and then they just go off. I've got no pace. The medium's almost certainly the quickest and most durable race tyre. The hard's not the quickest, but can go about 27 laps or something like that, kind of thing. So can go to the end. But formation lap, interesting to see that the guys are running fairly quickly at the front on the formation lap to try and get as much temp into these tyres as they can.
Yeah, I just saw Icewind slam into the wall there as he was trying to put some load into the wheels, but obviously no damage on the formation lap. I think this is the one area I struggle in, is trying to get your tires warmed up, especially if you're in hards and you're on this formation lap.
We've got a stray McKenda stuck in the wall in this twisty section as well. It looks like he got out of shape on one of the curbs, maybe trying to light up his rear tyres, and he's now behind his teammate. So that's not going well. Boys. Hardest lap of the race, never fails. But Lawrence is already at the grid. Like, he's way ahead of everybody else. He's taken the formation lap to just mean warm your tyres up as much as possible. Go around full pelt. But yeah, not long to go before the start of the race. We're still waiting for Samim, and hopefully Codemaster is going to give me a half decent camera for the race start, because so far it has been horrible, the race cameras at the beginning of the race. We've got an Aston Martin doing 360s there of Luca Mlinak as people try and do their best to warm the tyres. Honestly though, like, spinning around in circles is probably a very good way to warm up your tyres on the formation lap. There's no damage. As people are getting disqualified left, right and centre. Well, people might not know this so far, but you've got to line up on your grid box now, and if you go overshoot it a little bit, it puts you to the very back of the grid box, and this is what these disqualifications are. It puts you back like, I don't know, a metre or so, which can cause major problems. But we are looking for a camera angle. We cannot get one because the guys are disqualified at the front, and it won't give me one at all. So there's a half decent one. It's from behind. Well, I suppose we'll have to make do. We've got 4 lights, 5 lights. And we are green in Miami, and away we go. It looks like Daisy has got a very good start on there as well as he gets up alongside the Williams. Oh, contact between the Williams and the Red Bull in this first corner. And the Red Bull is around. If RK Lawrence has not gone well for him, we've also got Luca Milak around as well. And Justin That Racer inherits the lead. Not the start that Danny and RK Lawrence wanted at all. But we have contact and issues in the first lap straight away. And Speedy lets his teammate through in the end, but Danny comes off. quite well from that, to be honest. He looks like he's got a fully intact wing, but just not racing a daisy. Take full advantage of McKenna now in P3, running on the top 3. Loff up into P4, gets a great start. Danny Coe in P5 will be looking to make short work of Loff. Speedy, absolute rapid start as well. Gets himself up to P6, Copy all the way up to P7. So big changes all the way down the grid. But
yeah,
seems to have settled in now.
P18. Yeah, just looking at the back, Zykan has front wing damage. I suspect there's a few other guys out there with front wing damage. It was a wee bit of a scrappy start there for some guys at the back, including Luca. So yeah, I think we're going to see a few guys peel into the pits at the end of this lap. Oh, and we got a car off. It's
our gamer in the Swisty sector. I had Fox having a little moment as well just before that. Lost a couple of positions. Just looks like Fox is very much struggling with this track. RK Lawrence down 14 positions, looking to get past Meepo now in the Alfa Romeo. Meepo is look the squeeze, but it's all fair. And Lawrence looks to get that moved on into the final corner, gets the inside line, pushes Meepo out wide. Just says you're not the only one who can squeeze, and gets the move done. We've got first car there into the pits. It looks like Zykan replacing that wing damage. Wing damage now with a new patch.
Oh, Iceland's off as well. There's something has happened with Crystals and Icewind.
Yep.
Both of them were wide at turn 1. And I see McLaren at the back there. Also Salmon having a bit of an issue going into the wall.
Certainly has, yeah. Salmon first race without any assists.
And Pretorius, I'm sorry, Kebab, Pretorius and Icewind coming together there. Quite a clash through the high-speed corners. I don't think there was any damage for either car, but yeah, Icewind's dropping down the order here quite fast. And he does have damage, actually. Icewind does have front end plate damage, so that is not good, obviously, for him and his race.
Could be costing them big. I mean, it definitely affects you more. It's still not quite as bad as 2021, where the car was undrivable with wing damage, but it's definitely cost you more time. Luca getting a move on more moves on Icewind there as Luca goes wide, and as Crystal is going wide, I think. But these guys struggling with this damage and maybe need to just kind of reset, refocus. It's definitely drivable with the damage though. And maybe worth staying out. I mean, it didn't work out for me in Tier 3. I stayed out, you didn't. You came in and pitted for the mediums and ended up in a better position in the end. So I think crew chiefs are going to have the calculators out.
Yeah, we have someone in stream chat suggesting that it's the second time Danny Coe took Lawrence out on the first lap. That's suspicious. I can say that they're very good friends, and I don't think that is likely. But it is worth noting, I guess.
Yeah, targeting him might be definitely the word, but no, I don't think so. Speeding in the pit lane as Icewind, is that a sign that he might be about to give up? Or has he just got his braking point wrong as he's coming into the pits now? Wing change though, so going on to the... Let's have a look at the tyres he's gone onto, because he's gone on the fresh mediums. So as I can also on fresh mediums, they're going to have to stop again. I doubt they're going to get those mediums till the end, but at the moment we've got a DRS train from P1 down to P9 at the moment, as Pemi just catches the back of Speedy, and it's going to be difficult for any of those guys to make any moves. Loff at the moment currently off, caused a gap there, big gap there. Sorry, you were about to say?
Yeah, so Desi right on the back of Justin Racer, like I mean literally pushing him for this slow section at the end of Sector 2, but yeah, we saw this yesterday from Desi. He played a very, very smart long game as Speedy gets a free second time penalty there in P8, but yeah, he played a long game. He stored up his ERS and really left it to the last lap before he went for that overtake, and it paid off for him. ERS, notoriously difficult to get back. I think you get about 5% per lap. It feels like that anyway, and so it takes a long time to get that back. But Justin Racer laying down the gauntlet, a fastest lap from him, 31.3. Hoodham, 31.3. Also, he takes the fastest lap. So Hoodham has pace back in P7, but Hoodham is battling against Copy, and Copy looked like he was sticking his nose in around the outside, but yeah, Hoodham taking the ideal line there and be able to retain P6 for now.
Apologies for that. I missed most of that action on the thing. I was trying to keep up with the chat essentially, but yeah, Kiar seems to think that there's definitely a vendetta out between Danny Coe and RK Lawrence, but I can assure you that's definitely not the case. The guys are really good friends. They would just see that as racing, which we all should really. There's no reason to get upset over things that happen in a game. Certainly isn't. As I can getting past Crystals there at the back. Crystals in the pits now, going for the mediums. Maybe was trying to look to go long on with the damage or something like that kind of thing, and maybe decided no, can't be done. It's not going his way at the moment, but anything can happen.
Luca getting a move on Pretorius at the end of DRS straight there. So Luca is on form, it seems. He doesn't have any damage I can see on the car, and he's absolutely rapid out there. P12 making his way through the ranks, so we'll keep an eye on him as the race continues. I would like to say the guys that had to pit there from wing damage and went on to the mediums, they are praying for a safety car, because that's really your only option to get back into any contention of points, especially in Tier 1. Ooh, Pemi right on the back of Janab here through the final corner, so we might see a move coming up soon enough here for P10, or P9 rather.
Yeah, we are starting to see a gap there. Danico got past Loff in the end. We missed that. Apologies for that. I need to pay more attention to the actual race that's going on instead of chat. But looks like Danico's got
Speedy's off. Speedy is off in P8. He's had a massive spin. Just caught the tail end of that, yeah.
And that is in that sector 1, that notorious turn 3. It's very, very tricky corner that. You've got to get the power down as quickly as possible. But if you just overstep the mark too much, it just the back end slips out. Oh, Speedy's all over the place. He's bound again. His hot tyres proving very difficult to deal with as he slips even further down the order as he reverses off the track to avoid a dodgy rejoin. But yeah, some people are going to struggle with this track for certain. I don't know how much Danny's got in the tank and whether or not he's going to be able to make up this 2-second gap. He may have to pit early and go for the undercut if he wants to get back into the battle with these front 3 guys. But they're all keeping formation at the moment. Just Nat Racer leading the pack with Daisy and McKenda behind, filling out the podium positions. But Loff, at the moment, is doing extremely well to hang on at the back of Danico and use his DRS to his advantage and just stay with these guys. Maybe he can get pulled up to these fast guys and be in a good position to take advantage if there's any penalties or last minute crashes.
Yeah, Luca as well. He had a moment there. I didn't catch what happened, but it's put him back in P15 after that great recovery. So he's got it all to do once again.
Certainly is. Copy all over the back of Hoodham as well. So we've got a few separate battles turning up on the track here. We've got Fox on Pretorius, Lawrence and Pemi on Jenab, Copy on Hoodham, Loff and Danico, and obviously you've got the front 3 as well. We've also got Speedy on the back of Luca, but I don't think Speedy's going to be able to get that move done anytime soon with his tyres on fire after the 2 spins he had. He probably just wants to try and calm things down a little bit and get back into the race. But interesting stuff. It's interesting that these guys in the mediums aren't really making much headway to get back into it either. But Samim in a good position at the moment, P17 as well, looking to just get a solid race and get to the end, essentially.
Yeah, expect them to catch the back of the field soon enough, but they will, of course, have to pit again, as will everybody ahead of them. But there's a couple of great battles happening out on track at the minute. We've got Kay Lawrence. He's in a train behind Pemi, and really they're vying for this P8 spot as Pretorius and Fox are going side by side for the going into this slow chicane, the slow part.
I don't know any of the corner numbers either.
Yeah.
I'm just going to struggle with the corner numbers here, just to go the twiddly bit, the twisty bit, a 3-second tyre penalty for Pretorius there as well. We're going to see a few of those, I think. It's a tricky track to get the track limits right on, especially in that twisty sector. Where
you've got getting a move on Pemi here. He's moved up to P9, so that made it look up pretty easy with the use of DRS, of course.
Yeah. Not a bad play, not bad move to get done as well with DRS, with Pemi having DRS on Janab as well. But obviously, Lawrence has forced him into an error in order to make the move stick, which is typical of Lawrence. A great racer, brilliant at that kind of thing. Brilliant at just biding his time, forcing the error and taking advantage of it. But
yeah, it's really amazing actually. He's had that big incident, obviously, turn 1, lap 1, and look at his recovery already. I mean, he was pretty much in, at the very back end of the grid. Now he's P9 on the back of P8 and looking very feisty out there.
Certainly is, yeah. But I mean, that's the kind of talent the driver has. Daisy making a move for the lead here, though, as we go down into turn 7, I think it is. I'm not sure if you count the turns on the straight as turns, but it could be turn 9 or something like that. But he gets it done and makes it stick as well. So ahead into the twisty sector. But the problem with this track is that it's got so many DRS zones, one after the other. Making that move there, he's now got DRS down this straight to make the move back and the start-finish straight as well. It's very tricky to break DRS down here, especially if you're the one making the move. So you've got to really pick the timing of the move to be very, very good timing, essentially. Otherwise, you're going to just get re-overtaken. Looks like didn't go for it in the end, though, did Justin? He just held position, happy to be there. These front three guys are all keeping hold of their ERS quite well, apart from McKenna, who's already quite low. Maybe he's
doesn't go for this move. He might go down the inside. Look, yeah, he does indeed. Well, they use the ERS, quite a short one. Short DRS zone there, but yeah, got that move done. So I think you know what has happened here. Desi's hand was forced. He has McKender behind him, and he knows he needs to get a move on. So he's probably going to try again this lap to get past Justin that racer and just try to break out of that DRS range.
I mean, the thing is now is that Justin Race has made that move there, but he's not going to have enough time in the track. And it's the same every DRS straight on this track. There's not enough time between DRS straights to make the gap, unless you're much quicker, like 1 second, 2 seconds a lap quicker, which obviously these guys are going to be really tight on pace. But I'll be very surprised if Daisy can't make the move back down this straight. It's look how much overspeed he's got with that DRS. Decides not to go for it. He's going to stay behind for this twisty sector once more. But yeah, McKenna 33%. Daisy 70% and Justin 67%. So that Justin and Daisy currently winning the war of attrition on ERS.
Yeah, I think what Daisy is thinking right now is if I can get past Justin a racer and Justin starts fighting McKender, I can start stretching my legs out here and show him a real pace. But at the minute, yeah, he's too far behind Daisy to make a run on this time. And yeah, I don't know if you saw it there, but Speedy retiring in the pits, he's had enough. So he is out. He's the second retiree, as Icewind been the first one.
Yep, Icewind had some side pod damage after contact with crystals, he says, after a suicide dive bomb. So speak after, probably, but unhappy with that one. It is what it is, he says. But yeah, side pod damage, some damage in this game makes the car undrivable. A lot of people are unhappy with that this year's game, but I have always been a fond admirer of any kind of damage or things like that kind of thing that really takes you out of the race, because that is what real racing is like, and you should be avoiding contact anyway. Getting damage in the race is definitely a thing in racing. It certainly is in iRacing, and you try and avoid it as best you can there.
Oh, and there's a fight at the back for P15. Looks like Crystal got past Luca, who's had an issue in the slow chicane, yeah.
Sammy's lost on traction and lost his wing as a result, and that is a... I mean, nah, Sammy, you need to stop there. You need to stop and let the guy past. Coming onto the track, whether you ghosted or not, it's a big no-no. But as he tries the 15-point turn to get back on track, he eventually gets it done. But this guy just wants the practice and the experience here. He just needs to keep going and keep his head down and get it done. But yeah, it looks like he lost on traction. He was struggling with that beforehand. As we've got Lawrence all over the back of Jenab at the moment. A little train of cars there now from Hoodim all the way down to Lawrence. So Lawrence might find it more difficult to get past the next man on track.
Yeah, Lawrence carrying a little bit more ERS, so I reckon if he just manages this, maybe uses this period of time. Oh, he's going quite now. Oh, and there's a contact ahead as well. It looked like who is that? I was copying Hoodim, I think. Oh, and Copy's had 2 overtakes done on him from that final corner, so yeah, had a bit of a coming together with Hoodim, I believe it was, and now he's getting overtaken by K. Lawrence, so Copy lost 3 positions in one straight, pretty much.
I get the feeling that's going to be an incident report at some point. Just a bit of contact, puts you offline, loses you a bit of speed, costs you 3 positions, and you're bound to be unhappy with it. But RK Lawrence making short work of the guys in front of him. Like we saw that, he looked to the inside there. He looks to try and basically put some pressure on the guy in front and say, look, I'm here. I could dive you if I really wanted to. You need to think about me, not the guy in front. And that causes them to make a mistake. He's just trying to force the error. But he's not going to brake late or try and send a dive there. We know Lawrence too well. He's just going to try and put the willies up the guy in front and maybe cause them to maybe do something different, as he does the same again there on Hoodim. But Janab gets Hoodim, and then Hoodim back down the inside there, keeping that. Some great racing between the two of them.
Off his crystals. Is it full course yellow? Are we going to get a safety car? We do. We have got a safety car.
Yep, that is a full safety car. So that nullifies the race that we're watching on board with. That's Crystals out of the race as well. He's lost it on track, I think. Has he? Has he lost it on track? I'm not sure where he did lose it on track. If he did, but I can only see one Aston Martin. That's the one overtaking, so that's Luca at the moment. So if he has been crashed on track, they've cleared it up extremely quickly. But that resets everything, and I think a number of the people here on 9-lap-old hards are going to think to themselves what to do. Like, I think the best option here would be to pit. Justin That Racer doesn't. He stays out. Everybody behind him pits. That is huge for the strategy call. Justin That Racer is only going to be out on those laps, a few laps more, before he wants to come in and get the fastest tyre, the medium tyre, to go to the end. He has missed a trick here, and he has cost himself the race win, I think. There's no coming back from that strategy call, I think.
Yeah, here's the thing though. I mean, ideal pit window for mediums, they last from around lap 13. So with the safety car being out for a few laps, that it might be a viable option to get these mediums to the end, but there is a chance that they will be within puncture range at the very end of the race. So yeah, for at the minute it looks like Justin's made a bad call, but maybe at the end of the race it might come back to him.
No, I don't think so, because I mean, the ideal point to pit would be lap 16. The very earliest you could pit in racing conditions for the mediums would be lap 10, and they would just about get to the end. If you looked after them a little bit and didn't lock up a lot, didn't have any spins, they would get to the end at about 60%, 70% wear. And these guys are some of the best drivers out there, and they're not going to lock up. They're going to have plenty of tyre wear left, but they're just going to be a bit slow at the end if you go for lap 10, and that means the undercut doesn't quite work out for you. So the lap 13, 14, 15 is probably the optimal time to pit. The time that he's lost now, not pitting under the safety car, it's got to be around 10 seconds. Like, it goes from a 20-second stop to a 10-second stop because everybody else on the grid is going slower. You cannot make that 10 seconds up in the last few laps by having fresh tyres for the last 4 laps. It just can't be done. He's going to lose track position massively when he does finally pit in 4 laps, because all of the guys, he's going to drop to like P12, 14, 15, something like that, if not the back of the grid.
Pulled into the pits, yeah, he's gone in. So he's realised the error of his ways, and
that's the only call he could make. Yeah, that is the only call he could make. He's going to lose out a lot of positions now, and it's costing him big, but at least he's got the opportunity to be on the same set of tyres 1 lap shorter, but that's not going to make much of a difference. But look at all the positions he's going to lose now. He could come out just in front of Copy, essentially, but I think that's the better call. Like, if he stays out and pits outside of the safety car in 4 or 5 laps time, he probably ends up behind Samim. I'm not sure where Samim is on track at the moment. Has he been lapped yet? No, he has not. So that's great news for Samim to get back into the back fight, but he's a long way off the back. He might not catch up before the safety car comes back in.
Yeah, you have to wonder what was going through Justin's head there, why he didn't pit. He was a lead car, so he's probably thinking if I don't pit, then the other guys won't pit, but he obviously got that call wrong, as everybody behind him did indeed pull into the pits.
You have to pit as the lead driver. Like, the other guys behind might be able to stay out, but like, you have to pit as the lead driver and dominate the strategy. Basically, you've got to be on the freshest tyres at the freshest time, kind of thing, and prevent the other guys from undercutting you. So yeah, whoever that man's crew chief is needs a stern word and maybe shown a door or two.
Maybe he has no crew chief. That's what I'm wondering. Because sometimes whenever you're on your own, it's hard to make that call, isn't it? You know, you're in the cockpit, the safety car comes out, and you have to make that decision, like a split decision. And as we can see, sometimes you do make the call in error. Usually with a crew chief, though, they can kind of give you an overview of the race and be able to make a calm, cool, collected decision. Although that doesn't apply to Ferrari strategists, it seems.
As a Ferrari driver, can confirm. Can confirm. I've got my strategy. My Bahrain strategy was actually OP. Crash 4 times, get a late safety car, do absolute brilliant restart, and then gain 10 positions on the final 2 laps. Worked a treat. But yeah, we've got some interesting things happening here. We've got Danico rush just in front of RK Lawrence for this restart. So it is a repeat of lap 1, turn 1. Is Lawrence going to now send it on Danico and send them both spinning? Or is it going to be, you know, what's going to happen there? Chiara, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name, so apologies if I butchered that. Thinks that there's going to be more drama to be had between those two. I highly doubt it. I think they've probably got their tyres warmed up now. I think there was some mentions there as well of this bug as well. While we've got the safety car, we might as well talk about that at the moment. But does seem to be a bug with tyre temperatures mismatched all over the grid. If you get a disqualification, or you're not the host, or some other bugs kind of thing in play, and the formation lap, everybody has different tyre temps at the start. causes absolute havoc at the start of the grid, which may explain as to why some people have been missing their braking points into turn 1. But we did not get rid of formation lap this week, even with that bug being there. Although some people were asking for it in general chat. I think it's best, like, if everybody's in the same boat, everybody's in the same boat, everybody's got the same bug. But I don't know what's going to happen with that in future races.
Yeah, and let's take a look at a minute at Andreas Loff, P3 at the minute, and that's for, you know, he's done well. He's kept it clean. Was right on the back of Danny for most of the first stint there. Has been able to pit for these fresh mediums and is now contending for a podium in his third race in Tier 1 SLR. So yeah, hopefully I haven't just cursed him.
Hope not.
Yeah,
Hope not.
right
But
now,
no, like,
good for him.
the guy's made absolute leaps and bounds since last season. Last season I was commentating on him in Tier 2, and he had the pace. He was definitely quick enough to compete with Edge, Denari and everybody else up there, but he was prone to an error or 3 every race. So this game is definitely suiting him a lot better, and he seems to have kind of calmed things down overall. But safety car in this lap. We are going to have green flag conditions out of the final corner, and a Daisy, not a stranger to restarting the races, is going to be restarting this one. Samim has been lapped by the looks of things. He certainly has been lapped. It's still on 10 lap old hards as well. So Luca behind him. So not gone well for Samim in his first race, but as we said, it's just about getting experience. But Daisy decides to go late here, and he's gone now, and it looks like he hasn't got the best jump on the guys behind.
Yeah, Loff has not got a good start there, and Janab is right on his inside here. He's going to send it down the inside of Fink, and he does get the move done. Loff is pushed out wide, holds on to P4 for now, but he now has K Lawrence behind him, and there's a move at the back as well. Pemi going around the outside of Hudum and taking that P7 spot, so a few people caught up in there.
Certainly was, yeah. So we've got some people being opportunistic on the restart, but it seems relatively clean and safe so far. Luca and Samim are a little bit off the pace there. Danny making another move back on RK Lawrence as these guys give it to and fro. Lawrence got him on the restart, and Danny takes it straight back. Clearly one of them is about to take the other one out, because definitely there's some animosity there from the restart. But yeah, McKenna up into P2. He's having a great race, and Mellon now off the back of DRS with Loff all over the back of him. But Loff has got Danny Coe and Lawrence behind him to contend with as well.
Oh, and there's a crash. Copy is gone into the wall just before the slow chicane. It was coming together with our gamer. They were too wide, and that never works out as you have to turn in for that slow chicane. And yeah, Copy into the wall.
Wing.
No front wing.
No front wing for him either. But yeah. Could be down to inexperience from AR Gamer, or that Copy just thought, well, AR Gamer's inexperienced, he's going to be the one to back out, I don't have to, and that biting Copy in the bum. But Daisy sets the fastest lap at 129.8 in lap conditions in lap 15. I can't do that on softs in qualifying.
Wow.
And these guys are doing it in the race. Justin gets past RK Lawrence temporarily though. RK Lawrence takes the position back straight away, says I'm having none of that. But Danny Coe passed Loff, and RK Lawrence not past Loff. That means the little duel between those two is now over.
Yeah, I think that move there was Justin on Pemi actually. He got up the inside, so Justin's made up 2 moves already on these opening laps after the safety car.
I mean, this guy is top tier pace, so like he's going to be quick enough to get alongside McKenna and a Daisy. If he got the track clear in front of him, he would definitely catch up with them if they were fighting. So all he's going to do is pick his moments and get through this crowd, and he should still be within a fight for a podium, but I think the race win is too far for now. But like pitting when he did, Fox gets a move down the inside of AR Gamer now, makes that move look easy in the braking zone, and then starts to pull away in the twisty sector, and Meepo now all over the back of AR Gamer. AR Gamer might struggle in these conditions with these guys swarming all over him. It's very, very tough as a newcomer to Tier 1, I know from experience, to deal with these guys and the way they race. They're very aggressive, they don't make mistakes. You've got to be on it 100% as Luca gets past Zykin as well. So Luca, not sure what gone wrong for him this time, but like it's not gone perfectly well for him. He was making headway in the early stint, but moved backwards and is now having to make more headway again as he gets through the crowds. But not going great for his return race yet. Jenab, though, in a podium spot. Got to say, no rust on this fella. No flies on him either.
Yep, but he is falling off the back of Lee's lead too, and I'll tell you what, Desi, and we've got a driver falling down the road. It's Fox, who's had an issue there for the first sector. Currently P15 with only his teammate behind him, P16, so the Alpine guys are not doing too well out there today. But yeah, I was going to say, Desi using up a lot of ERS here to try to break the DRS range, but McKenna also, he recognises that. McKenna using up all his ERS just to manage that gap and make sure he stays within 1 second off of Desi, because he knows if he does lose that 1 second gap, he's just going to fall down. Or that gap's just going to open up between P1 and P2, and these two are in a league of their own. They're almost a second faster than the pack behind Janab and Danny Coe, and I think Danny Coe's probably want to get a move on Janab as quickly as possible here, because otherwise he's going to lose sight of that race win potential.
Certainly is, yeah. And Danny's still not out of the fight for that race win. Loff and Lawrence also still in the fight as well. Lawrence going down the inside of Loff there.
Oh my word.
That looked like contact there. That's going to be... I think but Justin gets promoted up to P4 and RK Lawrence up to P3 after that carnage. Wow. I didn't quite catch all of it, but things went very wrong and everything just switched upside down. Jenab gets past Loff up the inside. Loff doesn't look like he's going to give it up easy. Ooh, he squeezes him. And Pemmy up the inside of Hoodham as well. We've got a lot of racing to be had here. Sorry for interrupting you there, but...
just so much happening, but it was just in front of what you were calling there, the action you were calling it. It's the two Red Bull guys who just now racer sending it down turn 1 and picking up that P3 spot from K Lawrence. So Justin Racer in fighting spirit. He is the only guy out there in the top 10 then that has 5-lap old tires. Everyone else has 1 lap extra, and I'm not sure if that really counts for that much, but yeah, it's definitely a bit of an advantage.
Hoodham and Pemmy still fighting side by side as they're coming up the last sector. Hoodham braking very late, and Pemmy just gave it up essentially, but Hoodham almost went at the back of Jenab, but manages to keep it stable. Bit of a wiggle on the way in there under braking, but manages to just get the car stopped and keeps the position. So not bad racing from Hoodham there as well, but I think Jenab's going to be very disappointed with Danny Coe. Danny Coe going to be very disappointed with himself for that move into the final corner. Caused absolute mayhem. Lawrence and Justin that racer is now right back in it. Danny Coe, I was just about to say there as well on that before that incident, the final corner there in the last lap. Has still had a chance of winning the race, but that mistake from him has cost him big time and let Justin that racer right back into it. But McKenna and Daisy at the moment are out there fighting for the win, all on their lonesome. These guys behind, are they going to work together? Lawrence and Justin might work together, but Justin, can he keep Lawrence behind essentially? These guys really want to work together to get away from the guys behind and catch up to the guys in the front, but I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think there's such a thing in Red Bull as team orders with these two. I think they're going to race it.
Yeah, these guys are really out on the limit. Justin Racer in Sector 1 had a bit of a wiggle, and that allowed Lawrence to close up yet more, and I think Lawrence may go for a move here. He's going to have DRS. He doesn't use any ERS. He's so close to Justin. I think he can get it done just using the DRS, and Justin leaving the inside wide open, and yeah, K Lawrence gets that move done handily up to P3. So let's see if they can close that gap down to the leaders. 5.5 is the gap currently.
If you're in Justin's shoes at the moment, you probably think that's probably the better option to do. You know, RK Lawrence is one of the fastest drivers out there, one of the most consistent as well. If you can follow him and save your ERS and make him use his, then that's better for your race in the end. In these little trains, P2 is probably the best place to be. You can defend from the guy behind quite easily. You don't have to make the move with the guy in front. You can save your ERS and fuel and everything else kind of thing and just follow them. So doesn't look like he's looking to make a move back here as Pemmy looking.
Big crash, yeah. It's like Pretorius, Pemmy, who else
and Hoodham as well by the looks of things. Yes, AR Gamer as Pretorius is now stuck on the side of the track, unable to make a safe rejoin. Drops down the order massively. Some of the other guys there, not so interested in safe rejoins, just went straight off into the racing line.
Pretorius into the pits, yeah. It's like what we were talking about in quali, the Pretorius retires. But yeah, the overspeed you get with DRS, ERS, and a bit of slipstream on that back straight really catches people out in that final corner braking zone. And yeah, Pretorius is full victim to that today.
especially on the inside line, people underestimate how narrow the inside line makes that final corner. It's not a great place to make the move. It feels like it is because it's the end of a very long straight. If you can get the move done before the braking zone, certainly can be done, but you really, really want to make the move into turn 1, I think. That's probably the best place. The even better place to make the move might be down into this tight sector, but as I've mentioned before earlier, there's no real good place to make a move around this track. It's a very racy track. You can kind of get moves done and then get them straight back again down the next DRS straight. I think they've got the DRS straights spot on for racing in this track, but
yeah, I think Love here is going to come under. Yeah, he definitely is. He's got a Janab right on his behind at the start of this straight, and it's a long straight. So I think this is going to be one and done for Janab as he moves up to P6.
Certainly is, yeah. And now Danny Coe and Justin just want Lawrence to close that gap on the front two, and if he can't do it, they're going to start putting pressure on him and start forcing him to speed up if they can't. But it doesn't look as though Lawrence is catching the guys at the front. Daisy and McKenda look like they're in a little race of their own. They're both very low on ERS compared to the guys behind, but that gap there, 9 laps to go, could prove too big to overcome. So it might start seeing these guys in blue, 3rd, 4th and 5th, fight a bit harder as they realise they can't catch up to those two front two. Oh, big wiggle there from Jenab, and Loft gets the place back. Just says, thank you very much, I'll have that, thank you. Loft having a great race here. He's been very clean and steady so far. Some of the guys around him maybe have that little 10th more pace. Looks like is Jenab going to be able to get the move back? No DRS down this straight for him. No DRS for Loft either, so both missed out on it because of the way that played out. But Luca up into P8 now. He's done very well out of all of this mayhem that shuffled the grid a bit. Speedy has left the session, so he retired a long time ago. Maybe he was just sticking around looking to support other people on the grid. Looks like Danny Cole looks like he might be falling off just in that racer as well. Is he struggling for pace? Has he maybe got a little bit of wing damage?
I think Loff is going to get two moves done on him here in quick succession. Janab and Luca both sending it down the inside. It looks like Luca's going to hang back, but the door's left open for him and he does squeeze through, so Loff loses those 2 positions down to P8. But he's got pace in the car and he will have DRS here, as Luca will as well. Luca going to defend the inside of turn 1. And I wonder if Loff is brave enough to hang around the outside. He does not. He backs out of that move, probably wisely done. He wants to bring this car home in one piece and pick up some points at least.
Yep,
I tell you what, Meepo's on the back of these guys now as well. That fighting's brought him back into this fight.
Doesn't want to spend too much. These guys don't want to spend too much time doing back and forth fighting here. There's a car off though. That is Danny Coe around in the Williams. That is pretty much race over for him. It's too late to come back into it now. I'm not sure what happened there. I don't know if there was contact or what happened, or whether he just lost it down into turn 6. Very, very easy to lose it down into that corner. Like as you're braking, it's very easy to lose the back end and with the traction there, and even outbrake yourself and just go wide as well. If you hit the curbs too hard in that sector as well, that can cause major unsettlement in the car as well. So that is bad news for Danny. You have to say that's not where he wants to be. He's now damage limitation mode. He wants to get as many points as he can. He's still on the train, but this DRS train goes all the way up to Jenab.
Right, we've got a move coming up. It's Justin, a racer on K. Lawrence, the Red Bull guys fighting once again. And I think Justin, this racer is going to get the move done.
Whichever racer you want. He's got it moved done.
Luca as well. Luca on Janab. So lots of move here late in the race as Luca goes wide on the exit, and that allows Janab to get past, and I think Janab's going to have the DRS down this straight. He actually doesn't. It's neither of them have their DRS wing open, so one of those guys is choosing not to use DRS for some reason, or else it's broken.
Could be that, yeah, somebody's gone into the back of them earlier on in the race and it is broken their DRS. So Janab didn't use DRS. He did have it, but didn't use it, says Mark Levine. Levine? I'm not sure, but it sounds French, so I'll say Levine. But yeah, Loft doing very well at the moment, sticking with these guys. Meepo is on for some decent points as well. RK Lawrence all over the back of Justin for that last podium pay position as well, but I think RK Lawrence is just going to sit there, charge his battery up and get that move on the last lap. He will only go past if he really has to. I don't know if these guys are going to be in comms together. I think comms is Jenab, Cody, Danny and Luca at the moment together, as Mark Levin says in chat. Justin will race him, says Damien. sure these guys will race, but they're two of the cleanest drivers, most experienced drivers in the field as well. 3-second time penalty for Janab as well. That is going to cost him big. 3 seconds could mean he drops out of the points altogether.
Yeah, that's good for Loff, who's just sitting behind both of these guys. So at the minute he will jump both of those guys when they cross the line if he can stay within range of them. And yeah, Kay Lawrence not using any ERS on that lap, on that back straight, and allowing Justin, a racer, just to see, probably just to see if Justin can close that gap down a bit. It has came down a little bit, but we're kind of running out of laps here. I think P1 and P2 have got it sewn up for now, unless they make some mistake up there or start battling hard. Yeah. Looks like P1, P2 is sewn up, so really this battle here is for the final podium position between the two Red Bull guys.
I think there's still a lot of racing to be had here. Anything can happen still, and Luca has very little ERS with which to defend from Jenab and Loff as well, who are both sitting on a healthy amount of 34-35% kind of thing. Meepo and Pemi are both looking low, and Danico looking to make the move down the inside now on Pemi. Not taking any prisoners here, but doesn't get a very good exit there because of the line he took. But he's going to have DRS down this straight. Is this going to be a move here? Pemi gets DRS as well. Is he going to have enough speed? I don't know if he's catching quick enough. It's going to be a send if he has to do it. And he's gone for the inside and backs out of it. Maybe looking to try and kind of put the squeeze on Pemi there. He needs to make a mistake. 9/10 now the gap between Pemi and Meepo. He needs to try and make that a second so that he can get the move done with DRS alone. But pressure piling onto Pemi now at the moment. 1 second there is the gap. It looks like he won't have DRS down this straight. Is Danny going to get the move done now? There's the DRS line. Pemi does not have it. It's going to be an easy move for Danny now, surely. He goes for the inside. Pemi cannot defend this, surely. Outbreaks him. And Pemi going for the switchback, but not enough space to get it done. Danny looks to have gotten that move done cleanly for once this race. No offence, Danny, but it's not gone to plan. The L plan has been thrown out the window.
Our gamer and Azykin had it coming together, a bit of a tap. Azykin sent off, so yeah, Azykin fell down the order. Our gamer stays in P12.
Yeah, Hoodim. Fox gets past AR Gamer there as well down that start-finish straight. But AR Gamer, I mean, other than a couple of bits of contact and things like that, maybe we'll see what happens after. But he's done reasonably well in his first race. I'm surprised Samim gave it up because obviously he was never going to compete with these guys on pace. Even 10 spins later, being lapped 10 times, it would have been worthwhile staying out, getting the practice in there. Fox goes very wide there into turn 6. Bit of a no-no, but I guess the feeling he's just got his line wrong, breaking point wrong. But still a lot of racing to be had here. Loff, it looks like he's under pressure from Meepo. He needs to try and boost to stay on the back of Jenab, but it doesn't look like he's got the pace to stick with him. Meepo looks like he's got the pace to get past Loff. Loff's race pace isn't proving to be brilliant, but I mean, as long as these guys stay with Luca and Mlinak and Jenab, they've got a chance of gaining a couple of positions here. They don't want to fight themselves too hard, but Meepo definitely wants to get past Loff. He wants that extra points from
Fox
P5.
is out.
Fox is out on track as well. He has crashed in the twisty sector. We may be able to see what happens to him.
We have a safety car kebab.
Oh, late safety car. This adds all the drama. All the lead drivers have just passed the pits. They won't get a chance to pit here. They probably want to stay on these tires, but everybody else is going to dive into the pits for the softs for sure. Jenab, Loff, Meepo, Pemi and Hoodim all dive into the pits for the softs. Are the guys behind? Yeah, I mean, this is huge. It's especially huge for anybody with a penalty at this stage. It's going to end up costing you even more. Even unless you serve it in the pits. So if it's a 5-second penalty, you get to serve that in the pits, but it's going to cost you hugely in the pits now anyway, as I'm running out of breath.
And I tell you what, soft tires, everybody stays away from them in this race unless there's a late safety car, because they are absolutely rapid for a number of laps. And we've got 6 guys staying out on these mediums, but look at the guys behind, all on fresh softs. They will be absolutely ripping and chomping at the bit. And I tell you what, Janab is in a pretty good position, apart from that penalty, but Loff as well. P8, the second guy out there on fresh softs. No penalty to his name. Meepo as well. We could really see a big shake-up here in the final laps of this race.
Certainly can. We're going to probably only have 2-3 laps of racing at the end of this, given that there's quite a spread on the grid at the moment, kind of thing. But minimum we can have is 2. So lap 27, that safety car comes in regardless of where the cars are. But what this also does as well is that those guys at the front, Daisy and McKenda, they were running away with it. It was between them two for the win, but that now brings in Justin and Loris. Oh.
Yeah, the lead pack are pitting, so yeah, that advantage the soft runners have is not, yeah, they're not convinced that they can hold them off, so they're all going to pit for soft tires, so that is going to put them out of position. I wonder if Janab indeed will. Janab's actually on the back straight. Are these guys going to be able to get out in time? Yeah, I think they will. I think Adesi will maintain the lead of this race on soft tires, so
they certainly will. Yeah. An interesting bit of information for you is that nobody picked up the safety car, so this delta is still there for everybody running behind, so they don't actually gain hugely on those front guys. But yeah, Janab does gain a couple of positions there because of it, loses one again, but like back to where he started, so doesn't work. It doesn't do anything essentially by the looks of it. It keeps everybody in order, that, but everybody's now on the softs, and the guys at the front have got 1 lap fresher softs. So that's going to make a big difference because the soft tyres do not last. They really go off very quickly, kind of thing. 4 laps is maybe the maximum you can get out of them before they start becoming slower than the mediums. But 4 laps is all we need them for.
Yeah, and Danny Coe, I think they're, you know, it looks like there's going to be 3 laps of racing, possibly. If there's only 2, there will be no DRS. That could be crucial. You know, for the lead guys, but yeah, Danny Coe just came out of the pits there just ahead of Loff and Meepo, so that was crucial for him. He's P7, he's got 2 guys ahead with time penalties, so effectively right now he's P5 on track.
Yeah.
But let's see how this pans out once we get underway again.
Doubt we're going to have a safety car this lap. It's going to probably come in the next lap because we've still got Cody all the way at the back, just coming down the start-finish straight now as these guys head into the twisty sector and on at the final straight. But I'd be very, very surprised if that safety car came in this lap. It'll probably be the next lap, which means that we're going to have 2 laps of racing, no DRS. There's a number of guys here as well who were struggling for ERS. I'll be quite thankful of that. Some guys at the back there, Pemi 70% still. Some guys on 100%. Some guys don't need 60-odd percent. So these guys really want to kind of get that charged up as quick as possible because you're going to be losing it all in the next 2 laps. This could be absolute mayhem, but I am looking forward to it. This is going to be exciting. A couple of laps of racing. Yeah. Damien says correctly. Yeah, there has to be 2 laps of racing, so it has to come in the next lap. So this is definitely the final lap of the safety car, regardless of if Cody is caught up. But I imagine he will, because he's got no delta at this stage. Because the guys are now caught up at the back of the safety car. He has no delta to catch up.
Yeah, and any advantage gained through DRS is completely gone now because it won't be open for those remaining 2 laps of the race, so any moves will have to be done on merit and ERS alone, and possibly a little bit of slipstream in there. But it's just going to come down to who has got the pace for the win here. There's a lot of contenders up there at the very front of the grid, but there's a few people lurking in midfield as well. It's all going to depend on the safety car restart.
It's all about who's got the biggest cojones at the moment, I think, because obviously there's a lot to be gained, but there's a lot to be lost in a little sprint race at the end like this. And there's been a number of people here who are just thinking to themselves, don't want to do anything stupid, don't want anybody to kill me, I'm just going to brake and keep my line. And the other people who are thinking, I couldn't care less, I'm going to send it every chance I get. And yeah, that could be a very different order than we've got right now in 2 laps' time. It's exciting. I mean, I'm on the edge of my seat, literally. I don't know what's going to happen. I think Daisy McKenda, these guys would be idiots to race each other at the start. They probably just want to get a nice clean getaway and race on the very last lap to make sure that they don't have any issues with the guys behind, kind of thing. But the guys behind, Justin and Lawrence, they're going to take any gap they can. But one mistake here now, like one little twitch of oversteer, even if you catch it, it can cost you 4 positions. Safety car is in this lap. There's the confirmation. Lights have gone out on that safety car. Daisy now becomes a safety car and starts backing people up. He's going to probably want to try and get away as early as possible. It hasn't worked for anybody yet that I've seen so far to go late at this track. You want to go in that final corner, I think, that left-hander, before you hit the others. It's very difficult traction zones. Let's see where he's going to go. It looks like he's off the throttle at the moment. Safety car is in the pit lane, and he's going to go late again. And he's tentative on the throttle, and he's gone, and it looks like there is a concertina effect big time behind. We've got some overtakes looking to happen already with RK Lawrence looking down the inside and gets a terrible camera angle. Oh, that camera angle was horrendous for turn 1, but it looks like he's got a clean start and just enough racer, and RK Lawrence are fighting hard behind. It's 2-3 wide down into sector 1. 2 Red Bulls side by side. I can't believe there's been no contact, but some safe racing here so far. Big gap there in the middle of the pack as the 3 guys back. The back. Copy has made up 2 positions on Copy and Game On. Justin gets past McKenda to take P2 with a dive down into turn 6 as well. Great move. Daisy has disappeared from these guys. Justin made that move when he had to. Got the pedal in the metal when he had to.
Coming back. Here.
Down the outside. It's hard to make the move stick around the outside. Guy on the inside goes deep like he did. You lose the position, and McKenna's going to maybe lose out to RK Lawrence. He's going to go round the outside here in this twisty sector. He gets the inside for the most important corner, and yet RK Lawrence looks like he's got that one done. McKenna down to P4.
Yeah, this is Brian for Desi. He's got a 1.2 gap, but I tell you what, Justin that racer won in 2S earlier in the week against the Tier 1 guys there, and right now 1.1 behind Desi. He's got a lot to do in this final lap if he wants to take the win, but if anyone can do it, it's Justin that racer. He knows what it's like to taste victory at Miami.
So we're not seeing many moves behind, but it looks like Danny Cole getting up the inside of Meepo there. Danny Cole lost out a couple of positions on the restart by the looks of things. He sets the fastest lap and showing that he's got the pace here to take this win. He's got the gap, the 1 second gap, but it doesn't really matter to having that gap at the moment. We're not going to use DRS at all. Luca gets past McKenda as well. McKenda is dropping like a stone. He's gone on for a P2 or maybe a win before that late safety car, and he is just not being able to keep. He's got the penalties to contend with either side of him as well, so he'll get that position back at the end most likely. Loft still in a good position to take advantage of those penalties as well, but at the moment Lawrence looks to be the only person who's going to be able to make a move. Oh, Danny gets alongside Hood him there as well, as we get some horrible camera angles here. Cody's, please let us choose a camera angle. Just let me press a button to switch it. My god.
Yeah, Meepo as well. On the safety car restart into turn 1, he lost out. He went deep into turn 1, and I think that affected Danny Cole as well in some way.
Sorry to interrupt, but just in that racer, and RK Lawrence are fighting hard now into this twisty sector. RK Lawrence wants P2. He doesn't care that Daisy's gotten away. Daisy with a 2 second gap has run away with this in the sprint race. Congratulations to Daisy, as long as he keeps the final corner straight. He wins the race, but a yellow flag we've got there as Jenab is out. He's DNF'd in the final sector there. He is out of the race. He's spun out of the final corner, and that is what we were talking about there. All to lose. He has lost his good points paying position and ends up P14, and that gives Meepo a point, and Copy all over the back of Meepo looking for that final points paying position is going to be an interesting one to look at as well. Daisy finishes the Miami Grand Prix. Just now racer picks up second place. Lawrence finalises the podium. McKenda loses out to both of those guys to pick up P4. Loft with P5 after gaining on the penalties. But Jenab, oh my god, I cannot keep up with that final.
Copy as well. That penalty of Luca, he had 2 penalties, 6 seconds, because that late safety car dropped him right down outside of the points, even though he gets driver of the day, somehow, some way. Copy up to P10 due to that time penalty, so there you go.
Yeah, that was an exciting final 2 races. I could not keep up with that. And yeah, thanks to all the guys who turned up in chat as well. Please, guys, don't forget to like the stream. It helps us massively, gives us numbers, and it helps attract more drivers to the league. So please don't forget to do that. But my god, we'll just talk about drive of the day then. So many contenders for it this time. I think Justin's got to be in there, get himself back up to P2, fending off RK Lawrence on the final lap, and how many moves he made in that final little sprint there at the end. Kept it clean, made that error with the strategy call, but made up for it. Maybe threw away the win, do you think? Because of that strategy call, he was the guy in P1. Does that maybe discount him from the driver of the day? I don't know. Loff is big standout performer as well. Pemi goes from P12 to P6. Meepo P17 to P9. Some great drives all across the grid.
Yeah, fast lap going to Desi as well there. That's quite significantly faster than anybody else I see. Almost a second faster than anybody else in the grid. So deserved win for Desi today. Pole, fastest lap and the race win, I believe.
No, he started on the grid in P3, so no pole. I think RK Lawrence got pole. I have to give it to Pemi personally. Like, I think Loff is a great contender for it, but Pemi P12 to P6, he's done extremely well. I mean, anybody who beats Danny Coe-Hudim and the guys of that ilk has had a great race, and they do it from P12, and he was racing these guys as well. Absolutely terrific. Let me just go down the grid quickly before the time runs out as well. But terrific race, lots of DNFs, I have to say.
I wonder what chat thinks about the driver of the day as well. Give us your input. We're kind of, yeah, we've got a few guys. Penny probably be the front runner at the minute, but like you say, there's so many different guys there that had great races, especially towards the end there, making up a lot of positions.
Certainly is. I mean, Penny's my vote for now, but we'll see what chat says. Let's talk about interviews then, and see who we can bring in for an interview. So we've got Sammy and AR Gamer. We'll bring in AR Gamer. He had finished the race off as well. But AR Gamer, that was your first race without assists, as far as I know. How did it go for you? Talk to us about the challenges that you faced and how tricky it was to race against these guys in this tier.
Well, I kept at my pace. I think the whole race, 23s. It was easy, not making mistakes compared to with line. I felt like I can be more consistent on the braking points and shit. But compared to guys ahead, I had no pace. I kept just doing laps, and I just wanted to finish. I promised myself to not DNF any race in SLR, like myself DNFing. But sadly, I touched like Kobe and Azakin. So, yeah, I'm sad about that.
You did extremely well from my point of view, kind of thing, for your first race with no assists. It's always tricky to get rid of assists, and the guys that you're racing against are some of the quickest, well, they are the quickest in the league. That's why they're in Tier 1 as well. But is it something that you enjoyed? Are you going to look to do it again in the future and keep the assists off and maybe move up to Tier 1? I think you could fit in here.
Yeah, the problem is my ABS is I could not push as hard, but the line was easy. Because I memorized Miami track. I practiced for a whole week, so it was easy braking, but the ABS was a bit of a challenge for me. But yeah I hope maybe next season. Yeah,
fingers crossed. We'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll move on with the interviews. Congratulations on completing your first Tier 1 race. You did finish it, didn't you? So, good job on that. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.
So, in Loft comes next. So Loft, that was an absolutely terrific drive. You've got to say, P5, you've got to be really pleased with that. You had a terrific qualifying, starting P6, ended up P5 of the grid after the penalties. Things are really coming together for this game. You've massive improvements over last year's game.
I'm just so happy with the performance. Like, it's nice to see, as you said, that like things are coming together now, and like I can see myself being confident now with my driving and stuff. So yeah, I'm just very pleased about my performance today. Yeah.
Great to hear, great to hear. Now, obviously, as well, you had a lot of battles with some of the quickest guys on the grid there. You didn't win them all, but how was that going wheel to wheel with some of those top-tier guys? That must have been exciting. Very squeaky bum.
Yeah, it's so amazing, like, being able to drive with such fast, like, guys. It's like, credit to them. They're so freaking fast, yeah. And yeah, the battles, yeah. I was like in that mode of like, now I have the opportunity to do well, so I know the top guys are so fast, so I was just hoping to see if I can keep up with them and be in a DRS train, and yeah, so yeah, I'm just so happy to be able to drive against such fast guys. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you held your own against them as well. So as long as you keep things going the way they are, I imagine there's probably a few more great points finishes in Tier 1 for you in the future as well. So it's gone brilliantly for you so far this season. Long may it continue. What about the next track? Austria's the next track. It's a few fan favourites. Is it yours? Is it one of your favourites?
I would not say that it's one of my favorites, but yeah, I like the track. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'll just take one race as yeah, just take one race at a time, and then yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Yeah. fingers crossed for you in that race. It goes as well as this one. It was a brilliant drive from you. You were almost driver of the day, but Pemi, who finished behind you, started 6 positions lower than you, so I think he might get it. We've also got other contenders as well, because obviously the guy who won at Daisy had a terrific race as well. But we'll let you go. Enjoy the rest of your evening. I like to try and get through these interviews a bit quicker these days, so especially when I'm bursting for the toilet like I am. But congratulations once more on a strong drive.
Yeah,
Thank you
congrats.
so much. Thank you
Well
so
done.
much, guys. Have a good evening.
You too.
You too.
So one final interviewee there is Mexico City fan. So Mexico City fan, or RRK Lawrence as you were known in the race. You had a strong finish there, got yourself onto the podium, but couldn't make that pass on Justin Stick. And I mean, obviously there didn't seem to be any team orders between you and Justin in today's race. You guys were fighting for position left, right, and centre. But talk us through that battle with your teammate first of all.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a reserve. I'm going for race wins. I'm going for everything I can get. Justin's point racing, so I guess I have a little bit of that on my side. But I mean, obviously, I'm not going to do something stupid and wipe us both out. But definitely, I was trying to get P2 at the end. I'm actually pretty happy with that recovery drive from last to P3 after turn 1. So
yeah,
I'm not too upset with the podium.
We had a bit of drama in the chat as well. I don't know if Kiara is still here, but we had a bit of drama in the chat about that, thinking that maybe that was a bit of handbags at dawn between you and Danico. But I imagine, as usual, you were both in voice chat together. How tense was the room when that turn 1 incident happened?
Is he targeting you? Come on, tell the truth.
100%. He's totally targeting me. Yeah, totally. No, about 10 seconds, and then he he had the light bug because he's the lobby host, so the lights go out a little quicker for him. This game is so stupid. He should not even be in that position to have to decide. Okay, do I have to lift to get back the advantage, or do I just drive as normally? I mean, I'm 1% angry at Danny, 99% angry at this stupid game for putting him in that situation. So, no, it's not targeting. No, it's not anything like that. It's nothing nefarious. It's a stupid game.
So,
but,
you're one of the guys I come to for this kind of information when it comes to game bugs and things like that kind of thing. So what is, like, because we haven't kind of talked about this on stream in great length, what is going on with this light start bug? So some people on the grid are getting much warmer tyres than others. What's going on?
Okay, so it's complete RNG. Let me preface it with that. If you drive through your grid slot, that's why I drove through my grid slot pretty obviously, was because your tire temps actually stay with what you have on the formation lap. My tire temps actually stayed at like 84, 85. Some people, they would park in their grid slot, have no tire temp, they'd be at 70. Others, they'd park in their grid slot, keep their tire temp. Then there'd be a select few others who would drive through their grid slot and have their tire temp reset. And then if you're the host, you keep your tire temp no matter what.
So the host always has an advantage, essentially.
Yes. I mean, the light glitch, for one, like you're talking about, that's something that it's been in this game since like 2019. I don't know.
I mean, the workaround that we've always had for that, and some other glitches that have been around since God knows when, is to have the spectators host the session. That way nobody gets the advantage and it evens the grid up a bit. But unfortunately, this year's game has a new bug where if the spectator is the host of the session, then after the formation lap, everybody stays on the grid and nobody moves anywhere. And you have to restart it anyway. So hopefully we get a fix for that soon, and then we can go back to our usual, we'll fix the game for you, Cody's. Don't you worry about a thing. State.
We're the beta testers, man. That's the only way I can describe it.
The problem is we're the beta testers for the entire year. We get about 2 months of worth of racing at the end of the year, and then the new game comes out, and it's back to beta testers again.
We should build them.
Yeah, we should. To be fair, we definitely should. Definitely build them. But yeah, other than that though, exciting race in the end. You had some more wheel-to-wheel stuff with after the first safety car restart with Danico. Was there any more animosity or targeting going on there? Because you guys had a bit of wheel-to-wheel then as well. Was there any hint of revenge being taken?
I mean, he pulled off a fantastic move into turn 6. He kind of just... You remember the second last corner in Malaysia, where you can kind of, if you go down the inside, you could sort of beat the other car to the apex? That's what Danny did. He did pull off a great move there. I managed to get something on the restart, but he got me back there, and then Justin pulled off like a really nice move into turn 1. I was a little annoyed, but I kind of had to turn out, but he beat me to the apex, so he's ahead. Those are both pretty good moves from them. So targeting in terms of getting the position, getting the overtake done aggressively but fairly. So
yeah,
that's about it.
And from your position on the grid, I don't think you're in contention for this, unfortunately. But from your position on the grid, who would you vote for driver of the day? We're having a bit of a discussion about that this time.
Absolutely, he had the strongest pace today.
Daisy. Okay, so that's 4 different votes for 4 different drivers now. This is getting very difficult, but yeah. Well, anyway, we'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you very much, as always, for your input. It's always insightful. But you have a good weekend.
Appreciate the opportunity. Thank you, guys. Have a good one.
Take care. So, Chief, another week, another dollar, another fantastic Tier 1 race. It's been emotional.
Yeah, it's been a good one. I'm just having a look in chat as well. A few drivers at the finished at the back, not too happy with a few incidents, but you always get that in those kind of races. It's unfortunate that there are some guys that lose out. I think Copy would be the main one I'm thinking of. You know, he had a few incidents, maybe not of his own doing, and it could have. He looked like he had really good pace today, and I think he could have finished top end of the grid, maybe top 5 possibly. But I guess we'll never find out, and I don't think he's too happy about that race either. So, Copy, if you're listening, yeah, it's unfortunate, but hopefully the bad luck runs out soon.
Yeah, fingers crossed for these guys. But yeah, story of today is Pemi and Loff, essentially, kind of thing. Loff has seemed to have defeated his demons, and most of his races are these days incident-free. But yeah, some terrific drives. I mean, how this is going to affect the championship? Makenda lost a lot of points at the top of the championship. Yeah, is he still going to be leading it after today? Who knows? I'm not that good at maths, but Justin and Daisy are both with strong finishes, also at the top of the grid standings at the moment, kind of thing, in the championship as well. Could be looking to score big here as well. Loff with some big points as well. Only has 1 point to his name so far. Pemi 1 point to his name so far. They'll be happy with those big points gains as well. With these short seasons as well, Chief, I'm really enjoying these because there's so much more exciting, so much going on. There's a lot less, oh, well, I can just wait because it's over the whole season. You can't really. Any DNFs or big major problems, if somebody else is really consistent and you're not, it causes a big gulf in the points side of things. So this could hurt Danico big time, do you think?
Yeah, I think every race counts at the minute. You've only 11 rounds, so like you say, and there's been a number of drivers, you know, because we are over the summer period. There's a number of drivers as well, maybe on vacation, missed a race or two here, and that's probably going to really affect their standing at the end of the season. But yeah, I'm a big fan of these shorter seasons as well. They're short and sweet, and yeah. This season's pretty much wide open at this point. We seen that last season as well when we ran a 8-round season. Like most of the tiers went down to the wire, and that's great to see from our point of view. And that's what we're really looking for is everybody getting it their all and seeing what sticks and where they come out. And it's hard to say who's going to win this season. Adesi, of course, is looking like a very strong contender for the throne. But it could, and he's a tier 2 driver as well. I think maybe don't appreciate that he was actually a tier 2 driver as recently as was it? No, it wasn't last season, but the season before. So yeah, he's only had 1 season in tier 1 with no assists, and already he's almost, I wouldn't say dominating, but he's looking fairly dominant out there.
Yeah, he's obviously putting the hours in and doing all he can to give himself the best advantage, kind of thing. But that is the nature of it. Sometimes some people are just quicker than others. You've got to accept that at times. If you aren't willing to put in 100 hours like he has this week, maybe. I don't know how many hours he has actually put in, but 100 is probably a bit much. But that's what you've got to do to kind of win these Tier 1 battles. These guys at the top of Tier 1 put in an ungodly amount of hours, and this isn't the only tier that they're racing as well. They're racing several other tiers, and in some of those leagues, they're at the back of the grid as well. Believe it or not, the top of ours don't always win. Like some of the guys are racing in PSGL, and I think they're in, because the big leagues like PSGL, they're in tiers like 5 and 6, and they're even at the top tier. So you can imagine the kind of battles and fights they have there in those tiers, kind of thing. But trying to do our best to try and make these as competitive as possible. And I think Tier 1 this year is very competitive, you have to say. We've got a number of people who are vying for the wins every week, and it's anybody's guess who's going to win the championship. But as time unfolds, we start to see who's kind of coming to the fore and who's dropping away. And you've got to say it's Makenda, Danico, Justin, and Daisy who are looking to be the contenders for the title so far this season. But anything can happen, and one dropout from any race could cause huge jumps in that thing. But we've got all week to talk about all of that and see all of the incidents and things like that kind of thing. For now, it's time to love you and leave you all, I think, because I really need to go to the little boys' room.
Okay, well, on that note, we will we will indeed love you and leave you. So it's goodbye from me and goodbye from him. We will catch you next week. SLR returns for Austria. Looking forward to that one. Tier 3, Tier 2, Tier 1, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. And stay tuned for some more high-octane action.
Like he says, goodbye from me, goodbye from him.